Sometimes the things that you are attracted to are also attracted to you. And sometimes you'd find that what you have now has long been coming, you know, and what you will have in future is already yours, is already on its way. Greetings, greetings, and more greetings. I am Lesejo and welcome to the Positive Tarot. Yes, indeed. So today I'm going to talk about how I started. Yes, how I started. How I started what, you may ask? Reading tarot cards, of course, of course, of course. It's a very interesting story, right? Okay, cool. So, the first time I ever saw or came across tarot cards, it was only once, and they didn't really make. Okay, I guess I didn't realize how much of an impression they made at the time, but it didn't seem like such a big impression because, okay, I had been a resident artist for a short time. I think it was about a month, if not less. I don't know. Um, a resident artist at uh, for art residency program, right? So there was this other um resident artist who had a deck of cards, right? And then I forgot what questions I asked. At that time, I recall I was actually getting anxiety attacks over um my studies because I wanted to pursue my studies. So I probably asked something with regards to my studies. I'm not sure, but yeah, all I recall was that I think there were quite a few swords in the reading. Some were upright or upside down. I'm not really sure what was happening, but I remember her looking at the cards and changing some of the meanings by turning them around so that they could have a more positive. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing. But other than that, to be honest, I don't even think I'm speaking coherently right now. But at that time, I really did not know what was going on. Like, I just did not get it. Yeah, so I asked some questions, I got a response, and that was that. 2 years later, was it 2 years later? Yes. 2 years later, I was in a different environment. Okay, yes. Funny enough, the school that I had been stressing about, my studies and whatnot, yes, I had moved to a different area. I was at that school, living in the residence at rest, but it wasn't an easy time for me. It was a challenging time, and yes, I was alone, felt isolated, and there were just quite a few things happening. And I do believe it was around the pandemic as well. So, I spent a lot of time alone. Um, and yeah, I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. Well, financially at least, you know. But obviously, I was at the school that I wanted to be in. So life, like I said, is always about, like I always say, it's about perspective. You can be in the worst position in your life while you're living your dream, literally. So, what I did was I went online and I Googled tarot cards, right? I Googled like a free reading. And then as time went, oh, I'm sorry for yawning. Goodness, I hope. Anyways, um, so yeah, I went online, went to some websites, but as time went, I came across the YouTube ones, which I felt were more fun. Pick a card readings. Oh, I had so much fun. But some of the presenters or hosts were very, very informative in their way of sharing, you know, reading cards, because you can, I believe that you can transfer the message, or you can also, teach a little bit about the cards or give some background information. So in that way, I felt like I was learning a lot. And then I became curious, right? And I started learning. I started learning. But as I mentioned earlier, I was not in a financially nice position, So I couldn't afford tarot cards at the time. So what I did was that I got some card boxes from around the campus. I cut them into pieces and then just wrote, the major arcana in the first 21 boxes, and then made the other cards as well. I didn't draw anything because well, it was a box, but um I actually could shuffle them. I could shuffle them and get the readings and practice the meanings and do that. Is it flashcard? Or like just, practically practicing on them, shuffle them, um, get messages from them, right? And I took notes, wrote, I had a study book, yeah, wrote down the meanings of the different things, right? That pertain to tarot, because tarot cards, they do have their meanings, but there's also numbers, there's also numerology, there's also astrology, there's also, so many things. So I just took some notes about all of those things as well. And then as time went, I got my first tarot deck, and I've been accumulating them ever since. So yes, that is my story of how I started tarot cards, right? But when I think about it sometimes, there are influences, that have contributed to me, or to my interest in cards in general. Because I know, like, one of my favorite card games in life has been Crazy Eight, right? Which I've been playing from my youth. So card games have just been a part of my childhood. But I think most people can see that, and yet they're not tarot readers. But hey, I'm just saying. And I do recall as well, Roald Dahl, one of, yeah, the writers that I was reading when I was young. He had short stories, and one of the short stories was from Henry Sugar. So this guy was a card magician, I think that's what you call them, a card magician. And he could see whatever card from the back, and he practiced on the candle. I don't remember like the story properly, but he bandaged his eyes, or like, yeah, put a blindfold over his eyes and held a card, and then put a candle in front of him, to the point that he practiced seeing beyond the blindfold, I believe, or seeing behind the blindfold, or his eyes traveling through space to see on the other side of the card, see something like that. But I believe it took time, months if not years, and then he mastered the craft. And then, so I think things like that, they do stick in a person's subconscious, right? And I know for sure, when I was young, I definitely loved the TV show Charmed. So, okay, I don't recall seeing tarot cards there, but all I'm saying is that I sometimes see how all of the things that I was attracted to when I was younger, in a way, were attracted to me, or I could even dare to say I've attracted them into my life, you know, because they are a part of my life now. So that is the story of how I became a tarot reader. Thank you so much for listening, and enjoy the rest of your day. If you would like to learn how to read tarot, just yeah, man, watch more of my videos and you'll definitely benefit from that. Until next time, I'm out, signing out. Yes, bye.